So my name is Mr. Jahaad Shakur. I graduated from this beautiful school, John Marshall, 31 years ago. So I'm an alumni. So that means that the seats that we are actually sitting in right now is only for a short period. And we got the real world. What happens after the 12th grade? What grade do we go to?
College.
College?
Yeah.
I mean, that's if you choose. But what's the next grade?
Oh, you grown. You ain't got no grade.
That's the 13th. That's the 13th grade. It's called the real life. It's called gas. It's called lights. It's called medical. It's called life insurance. It's called house note. It's called car note. It's called the real world. And they don't stop until you get to the cemetery. So the reason why I come before you is this. But I go here before I go there. Malpractice. How many of you have heard of the word malpractice? Anybody? Medical malpractice, maybe?
Medical malpractice.
Medical malpractice, you heard of that? Teachers? What about educational malpractice? What about spiritual malpractice? What about social malpractice? I'll go here and then I'll leave it. A family friend had passed recently, and I went to the funeral. And while we were out at the cemetery, you had some young ladies to twerk on the casket. So we've heard of medical malpractice, right? What about that social malpractice and that spiritual malpractice? Right? It's rules and regulations wherever we go in the world, right? The people, land. The birds, air. The fish got the what?
Water.
What that spell?
W-A-T-R.
Y'all lawyers. What that spell? Give me the first three letters.
Oh,
Oh God, I thought y'all was ready. Three letters, right? So we're governed by law. And when you are outside of law, you only can have confusion and chaos. You can only have confusion and chaos. You can't just go to work how you think you're gonna go to work. It's called rules and regulations. And I'm talking to the men as well as the women. It's certain things that you just not gonna see. You're not gonna see a Cleveland police officer come in here with a pink uniform on. You wouldn't take him or her serious. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. You're not gonna see your mailman dressed in all white. It's rules and regulations. How many of you have heard of R. Shelley? Come on, let's talk back. Talk back. R. Shelley. How many of you have heard of R. Shelley? Somebody say R. Kelly? Why would you say R. Kelly? I say R. Shelley. Is there any reason why you said R. Kelly? Oh, it sounds like his name, but Shelley is a what name? It's a girl's name. But let's be very clear. Let's be very clear. I want you to stay focused because we on this planet together. Let's be very clear. Just like you got men that rape, you have women that rape. And it goes unreported far too often. For the women that are raped and the men that are raped, it's never their fault. Men and women who prey on a certain demographic, usually what they do, there's certain things that turn them on. And if you're out here wearing whatever you wear, maybe you fit that category. Sometimes men and women that rape women and men, they don't mess with little babies. So it's different. Sometimes it ain't even about the clothing. It's about the sickness in the mind. How many of you have ever heard of mind violence? I'm gone. You've heard of gun violence, but you ain't never heard of mind violence? It starts off in the mind first.